So the next adventure has officially begun. I mean, yesterday we were playing in the dunes, getting stuck. I had to winch myself out. We were camping. It's been awesome. But the next chapter is full of unknowns. I'm out in the Eezi Mountains at the moment. It is beautiful here, but it is getting late in the day and I have got no idea where I'm going to be spending the night so far. This is paradise. It is unbelievably beautiful.
My name is Adrian Abrahams, and I've been traveling across South Africa for the past couple of weeks. Now, it's time for me to make my way back home, but not without a small detour first.
Every now and then you come across one of these cute little guys in the road. I love little tortoises. Unfortunately, they get driven over a lot. It's busy raining at the moment, and they come to the road to get water. And it's very difficult because it's super tempting to get out of your car and pick them up and move them out the road. But if you ever see a little tortoise there, just leave him be. When you pick them up, their little bursa sacs or whatever release all of the water that they've been storing, and they invariably end up dying of dehydration. So it's one of those things, you just got to let the little guys do their thing. They're super cute. I've seen a good couple of them on this Tankwa road. The vehicle is driving beautifully and it's so tempting to really pick up some speed on this road, but got to be responsible and keep an eye out for any of the animals and things out here as well. So this area is famous in South Africa. Tankwa actually hosts the Africa Burn Festival, and thousands of people trek out here once a year in vehicles that are not suited to be in this terrain. And as you drive down this road, all you see is blown out tires on the side of the road. People not understanding how to use their tire pressures correctly, people not understanding what type of tires, to have to drive in this type of terrain, and not knowing that a low pressure tire and high speed is a recipe for disaster.
Now, there was a different feeling of freedom on this drive. Being out in the desert with no concrete plans, all on my own, with the music blaring, that's a feeling I really missed. And although I've been traveling with awesome people, it's the solo traveling that I love the most. Sitting around the campfire the night before, talking about potential places to stop, and so many names were thrown out in the mix. But one I really wanted to try out was Die Mond. But I had no idea what to expect and could only really go off what I had seen online and on social media.
This is paradise. It is unbelievably beautiful. Just have a look.
By now, my Hilux had become my home away from home, and I was starting to know it intimately and to know my setup well. This trip had served its purpose perfectly, to test the vehicle and the build in an all-encompassing adventure. It'll be interesting to get home and start tweaking it to perfection. It was so awesome to have a beautiful spot like this all to myself, to soak in everything I'd been through for the past couple weeks. And sunsets like this are priceless.
I was really glad they didn't have their gates locked here at Die Mond. That's the campsite I'm at right now. It is spectacular. It really is. There's not a hell of a lot of campsites, so I can imagine this place must get really busy over the holidays and the weekends and stuff like that. And with this beautiful river right here in front of us, it's just incredible. So I've very much so enjoyed watching all the pastel colors over the water, hearing all the bugs and the frogs and the geckos and the birds and everything. It's incredibly alive, and I've had to get the mozzie spray out with a vengeance because I can just feel mozzies all over me. But it is water in the middle of a desert, so that's pretty awesome. Gonna just chill out now, have a easy dinner, and get a good night's rest. Don't have a laptop to distract me since that got stolen. Oh, crikey.
It's funny how you start to develop your routine over time. I found that I ended up closing my tent after I would wake up in the morning, so that all I had to worry about was preparing some food and hitting the road when I was done. And it really helped easing that rush of having to pack everything up in the morning to get going.
That was an awesome evening actually. Slept like an absolute baby. It was beautifully temperate, no bugs in the tent, no nothing. And I just had a quick pack up this morning, literally just dropped the tent down. I love it, it's so quick, it's so quick. So for stuff like this, where I need to get back on the road quite quickly, I want to just have a cup of coffee, make some breakfast, and then head home. It feels like a really long time since I've been home. But let's get to it. We've got a beautiful day ahead of us. And I mean, how's the sunrise? It's incredible.
There is no better way to test products than to get out and really use them. And I really love the development process of these overlanding products and being involved in the R&D. I like to push the equipment hard for my product partners. And when I come back from my trips, we often chat about how to improve the designs and making them even better than they already are. And it's the real nerd in me that gets excited when I get to use all of my equipment. But at the end of the day, I'm all about the spirit of overlanding. And I love eating my breakfast with a beautiful view. These moments are my favorite.
Behind every great camp meal is some good camp cleaning. I carry around this little bucket with me, little collapsible bucket. Works like a charm. You get a variety of different ones like this. Some are a bit bigger, might be better suited to washing dishes and stuff, so I would actually consider swapping to that. Yeah, and then another important thing is to use biodegradable, eco-friendly soap, because chances are you're going to need to throw your dishwater out somewhere and you don't want to be damaging the environment or, you know, the water source nearby. So it's best just to take that little bit of an extra step. It doesn't cost that much and it will make a big difference to help reducing the footprint you leave behind. When you leave your campsite, there shouldn't be anything behind. Just your tracks, no litter, no stains, no nothing, no coals. So that's something I like to do. It means also when I'm wild camping and stuff, I do it with confidence because I know I'm not damaging the environment. I like to make sure that everything is nice and clean and tidy when I leave a campsite. A, it's just good etiquette when you're at a camp facility, and B, it's good for the environment. And you know, we love these beautiful places. We don't want them getting shut down because we can't look after ourselves. So in the first episode of the travel series, when I was packing up the vehicle and everything, I obviously didn't have too much experience with how the setup would work, where to put stuff, things like that. I've been able to kind of really figure a lot of stuff out. I've been super impressed by this Bushtech drawer system and the canopy and everything, and just how much it can actually accommodate, that it's taken me a while to get used to. There's a lot of space I'm not using efficiently, but I'm also figuring out my drawer system here and how I like to use it. Definitely found out quite a lot of efficiencies and some things that I'd like to you know, do to protect my pots and pans, to, you know, just make accessibility better. Even though it's already super accessible, the way I packed it, I have to dig through stuff to get to things. So I want to just try and organize that a little bit. Otherwise, I've been really happy with this vehicle and the build and everything on this trip. It's kind of been a bit surreal. I haven't really had much friction, much like agitation or irritation with the vehicle or anything like that, which is I'm not used to that. I'm used to having to compromise and, you know, everything with the Jimny, and this is, I've got all the things that I really want out of a vehicle. So a nice addition that I actually did as well was my pressurized water system. Now this I only did for having a shower. I used it for a shower once because the water is super cold and it was wet and rainy most of the trip anyway. So it didn't really get to use as a shower, but I've used this almost every single day, and just having the pressurized water there, it's a life changer. It's just, it really is. I use it every day for washing dishes, washing my hands, just whatever I need. It just gives me really good access. And then I did use it for a shower yesterday, and that was amazing. So it's one little change to the vehicle, but it's made a big difference. It's been a really informative, eye-opening trip. I'm actually glad to be getting home. There's a couple last changes we're going to be making to the build. I think there's one more addition still, and then the build is officially done, and then the finessing can begin. So I'm really stoked. I'm hoping to get to Joburg and have quite a special experience if everything goes according to plan. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and this new travel series. But once again, I'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in. I just want to give a massive shout out to my incredible Patreon members who contribute to this channel and make sure I keep bringing you videos week after week. If you really love the show, consider becoming a member and get access to some great behind the scenes content. Next week, I head to the Kruger National Park for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore the park on foot for a couple of days. My vehicle is a collaboration between all of my awesome product partners. If you want to find out more about any of the equipment in this video, head to the links in the description below. Anyways guys, I'll catch you next week. Cheers.